that brings me sing. That's right. Also play the scene, right? I'll share in the video so you can't have to share it for us, yeah? After the video, we start talking. We have no copyright to the music. Okay. So, thank you for joining us. My name is Grace Gore. I am the president for Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. I'm also the founder of Legacy Holding Foundation. These two organizations are registered here in the States. They are also registered in Liberia. So, Liberian Women Advocacy Network International has an office in Monrovia, and we are doing some work there also with Legacy Holding Foundation. So if you are the co-host, this is Split Talk, the Ninth Generation. We come here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Fiora has some technical difficulties, so she's going back to come back in, so everything can work well with us. Today we're going to be continuing the topic on the power of information. So if you on here or you will be here later, please try to share the video so other people can get to to hear the knowledge that we're going to impart to you guys. I would like to say welcome. Thank you for joining us. So we are continuing the power of information, and we would like to share, some very detailed information because the thing is that we have been coming here and we have been talking about the power of information so many times, especially when it comes to rape, and that's when it comes to rape issues in our country, things that goes on there concerning that, and the authorities are not very forthcoming when it comes to these things. That's why we always tell Liberian mothers and fathers, aunties, uncles, big brothers and sisters, always make sure your children are right before you. Always make sure you protect your children. Always make sure that you know the whereabouts of your kids. Me and Vera just sharing with one another. I just went to the ice cream shop with my kids, and I have a 10 years old son, and he wanted to use the bathroom. Was sitting outside, eating ice cream. He wanted to use the bathroom, so I took him, and he said, "Mommy, you can stay here with daddy them, and I'm going to the restaurant." I said, "No, no, no. One of us gotta take you." And then because my husband was conversing with the older kids, so I decided I took him and I sat outside the bathroom. He went in, he used the bathroom, and he came back out, and then he myself went back to sit down. That's how you pay attention to your children. The world that we live in is not even only Liberia. Everywhere in the world has become a very bad place. You have to pay attention with everything you do, even as adults. And these are the power of information that we try to share with our people back home, because we still don't have that, well, going on what the people think that Liberia was like before, that we used to go and play and the neighborhood will protect you. It's not happening, especially knowing that the elections is in 2023. A lot of people are getting killed in Liberia. People are seeing bodies because the work that we do, we are giving you that information because we are told. They send us this information. Some of the things that are happening in Liberia, they don't be on social media at all. Some of the people that are being killed, nobody don't hear about it. But because the people know certain group of people fight for these causes, so they will send some information to us. Some of it will help, and some of it we can't help. Because we can't help everything. But we got the information to give you so you can be able to help yourself. And that's why we are here. The power of information is important. So when you come to watch this show, help the people in Liberia, share to them so they can watch it instead of, just watching fun talk and gossip and people cursing. Watch something that will benefit you, because we could say something here that you never heard before. The power of information. Even this weekend, we had the privilege to go to a program that had over 2,000 people at that function. And what good that we were there, because the power of information that we received from there was very, we received it and were very opportune to be there. And we were very grateful for the opportunity to really be in our hall, because some of the information we heard, we have never heard it before. And that's just what we're seeing, the power of information. Fred, you can come in before we go into detail.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Vera Addy, the vice
Welcome.
president,
I'm sorry.
the vice president for Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. I want to say thank you to everybody who tune in to listen to us every Sunday, and even when we don't come on, those who send us messages to inquire of us what happened, why they're not seeing us on air. We want to say we appreciate you. We appreciate you guys listening to us, and the information that we bring to you. And we just thank you for your viewership.
Yeah, and then I will just elaborating on the power of information. I started to talk about what we heard going on in Liberia, especially concerning rape, especially for these very young children that play in the neighborhood and people see them and they take advantage of them. Some of them get killed, and some of the information we get in our inboxes, things that we can help and things that we cannot help. But the main things that we can help is that we come here and we give you the information.
Yeah.
We give you information on protecting your children. Keep your children in where you can see them. Do not send the child on the road in the night or in the afternoon or in the morning. Make sure that child is with you. 2023 is right around the corner. The elections are coming. We all know, we who being like Liberia, we live there. During these times, the people do a lot of killing. We don't know why. If it's what If it's for ritual, we don't know. But during the election time in Liberia, especially when it comes to the presidential election, a lot of people get killed, and most of them are kids. Keep your kids near to you. Take your children to the market where you bring them back home. Take them to school. Go to school. Pick them up. Make sure you tell the teacher not to let a child order the whatsoever they got to protect the children until you are there. You the only person, or you let somebody else and tell them say only two of us can pick the child up. Nobody else can come here and take my child. Make sure you just put all those precautions in place so your children can be protected. Because when your children get hurt or when they get killed, the government is not going to help you. This government is not really high functioning as you see, and besides, they don't even have the manpower, neither the resources to really protect the country. There is the safety and security problems in Liberia right now. So the only thing you can do for yourself is to help to protect your kids, and that's what we're saying to you, and that's why we want you people to watch this thing, because the power of information helps. It helps. So if you can come in and speak on that, and then we will go.
And we have given so much information on so many occasions. I mean, when we were actively speaking about rape and that was going on in Liberia, and children were dying, people were being victimized, young children and grown-ups. We give out so much information to people out there, and it's left with the people to take the information and use it accordingly. I mean, the children in Liberia, the little kids are so vulnerable. You cannot take your little children and send them out to go to the market to purchase stuff. You cannot send them next door to the neighbor to go ask for chicken soup. You cannot send them to your brother to go ask for food money. You just cannot put your children in harm's way. The grown-ups in Liberia are vulnerable. They can't even fight for themselves. People are catching them and killing them. And think about the little kids who have no strength to fight off those big people or fight off the predators. And in the end, you lose your child and the government does nothing. Because the government is only thinking about the government. The government is not thinking about the citizens. We have said it on numerous occasions. We continue to say it, my people. You look after your children. You keep a close eye on your children. Do not send your children out, be it a little boy, be it a little girl, be it a teenage boy or girl, or whatever the age range is. Do not send your children out in the street to go do what you yourself can do. And if you must go out late at night, go with somebody. Do not go alone. You go as a pair. You cannot take a little child and send the child to the store next door and expect that child to come back home safely. It just does not happen. It is an unfortunate situation that grown men, rusty, crusty men, we used to say in Liberia, find and got some kind of sexual attraction to little babies. And the thing about it is that the government is not going to help. Gender ministry does nothing. Justice ministry does nothing. Matter of fact, the president of the nation, Jeffrey, a whole bunch of criminals, I think 200 plus, 250 plus criminals, he just let them loose back into society.
So it's going to
So they're going to go back and create more havoc in society, and nothing is going to be done about it. At the end of the day, you have to be your own security. You have to be your own eyes. The Bible cautions us to watch and pray. It wasn't only spiritually, it is physically too. It's physically. You must watch and pray. You must protect yourself, protect your children, and protect your household. We cannot solve these problems. We can come out and create an awareness. We can come out and blow an alarm about it. But at the end of the day, it is left for the justice ministry and the gender ministry to bring the cases to the forefront. And it's left for the justice ministry to move forward with it and prosecute it. But I mean, historically, we've seen that nothing is being done. So, we can we see these things and we are sad and we are heartbroken and we feel disappointed and disheartened about it. But at the end of the day, what can we do? We can only give you the information. We talk about the power of information. Information is powerful. And when you get information, it's not for you to sit on it. It's not for you to hear it to go in one ear and go through the other ear. It's for you to use it wisely. Use the part of the information that applies to you. Use it for your own good. Don't just let it go to waste. Because at the end of the day, we can come and talk. We can come and advocate. We can say what we have to say. But at the end of the day, we don't have the power to prosecute. We do not.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it is that even if we come and talk and whatsoever happened, but the lady girl that even got raped in my Barkley and she got killed. So even if we come and advocate and we talk against it, and even if the government did something, the little girl has lost her life. But if precaution were taken in the process, maybe today she was going to be living. The Bible tell us that we should make sure our days are long on this earth. We're supposed to be doing the things that will protect us. You cannot see harm and say you walk into it and you allow it to happen. You have to take precaution with you and your children. And that's what we are saying. We are giving the information out there again. The elections are coming up in 2023. People, children are getting missing a lot. The things that are happening in Monrovia is not all. They have in the interior where we do most of our work, then in the different rural areas. People are dying in those areas. People, children are getting lost. They are killing them. There was a story, where even told me there's house right in Monrovia there. They just hear people crying. They go, oh, y'all leave me, oh, I'm sorry, oh, before you look, the person voice just go down, the person dead. Somebody even in the garage saw somebody blasting all on the wall. They got on the money and saw it. Y'all pay attention to your kids. Y'all pay attention to your own selves. Y'all going out. Y'all make sure y'all come back daylight. Although daylight things happening, watch your surroundings. Pay attention to your surroundings. You know, I used to be very that kind of way too. I never used to pay attention to my surroundings, but this time I do that. When I even park my car, I make sure as a villain, they play with my eye to see who are around me, notice people, that sitting in the car and things like that before I want to get out of my car. All those little things, although they say when it's your time, there is nothing you can do about it, but at least if you take precaution, it will not be your time because God gave all of us 70 years on the earth. Plus, if you take good care of your body. So we cautioning Liberians in Liberia. The elections are coming up. Take precaution with your children. Make sure you take them to school. Make sure you pick them up. If you have anybody else to pick them up, make sure you alert the school authorities that only two people will be coming here, me and the person. Don't let nobody pick up my child even if we come. Do not let anybody pick my child. God will not send those strangers except me or the person or two other person. Make sure the school know about it because people children will be getting missing. People children will be dying. The rapists then will use this situation to rape little girls. So the 2023 elections coming up, you don't want to mess with your children in the streets like that. We are so sorry for the children that are being in the streets selling. We have preached about this thing. We have talked about it. And to gender ministry, we have meetings with them that the children are supposed to be in the street at a certain time. They're supposed to be in school. They're supposed to persecute the parents and who putting these young children in the street during school hours to sell in the street. They should have a program to make sure that does not happen. They have the resources and they have the money from donors, but they don't do these things. So we have talked to them. We are going in meeting with these people. Some of the meetings they refuse to talk to us because they say we're too bold. They want people who will be friends with them, and our advocacy is not to be friends. We are here to shoot the straight, going to tell you the truth. So we did other things. We wrote, we wrote to different communities explaining how the children of Liberia are not safe. But at that point, that all we can do. And then the next thing we can do is give the parents then the information to be able to help their children. Because even the president has said that everybody should try to protect themselves. Why would you let your child be out there? If I were in Liberia, my child can go outside to play, to tell you the truth. I will not do it. I will not let my child go play. I say I'm sitting down there watching the children playing. I will restrict my child like that because the fear in the country is too much. Even in America, here, we restrict our children. Our children don't just go play. The house they're going to, we know there. And who the children they're going to, we know them. Where they're playing, we make sure we are aware. If we miss them around the place, we don't see them where they're supposed to be. We make sure we take them to the park ourselves. Then why in that period you don't do that for your kids? You use these children and let them go places and go buy stuff and go sell in the street. It's not fair to them. Too many children are losing their lives in Liberia. Every day we hearing it, but we too, we are just like, what can we do? It's painful for us to even see. But what can we do at this point? What can we do?
And knowing that everybody trying to retain power in Liberia, everybody trying to keep the position because no one wants to give up the position in Liberia in government because most of them in the seat of authority, they're not even qualified to sit in those seats. So people are getting themselves involved in all kind of ritualistic activities to be able to keep their seats for their constituents to be able to vote them back into power. And a lot of them are playing with blood. They're playing with human blood. And our kids are the most vulnerable. So what can we tell you? You have to send your children out. You know what you have to do when you go out as a parent? Do it and come home. When you come home to your family, you and your children in the evening, you're going, even if you're in the yard, like Grace said, and your children playing, make sure you're sitting there and watching your kids. Make sure they're not getting out of your sight. You know, everybody in Liberia trying to keep position that they never own in a life because everybody enriching themselves in Liberia. They will kill you if they have to kill you. People are killing. People will even kill their own children.
Yeah.
Just to keep power. So we are saying to you guys, we hear these things. It's so some are not even on the news. It's just coming to the inbox. It gets to the point now. We ourselves we just become so mentally depressed, seeing all these things emotionally and mentally depressed. It's so tiring. It's so it is so you know it's so mind boggling. But what can we do? We create an awareness. They see awareness. See where we come to your create awareness. They see awareness. You're supposed to be creating it for your homes and in your communities. Even when you're in your home, you get the information, gather your family, talk to them. Look, as a family, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Talk to your family in your home. Go in the community too. Spread the word. That's the only way to keep the safety and security. Let your neighbors know. Let people in the community know we have to protect our children. We have to keep our children. If we always say when we are speaking, if you see something, say something. If something does not look right, blow an alarm. Let everybody in the neighborhood know. If somebody is in your neighborhood that is strange you haven't seen before, inquire, ask questions, keep an eye on them. And, you know, and that's all we can do. We extend our condolences. We say sorry to the parents who lost their child. It's a life lost. You can never get it back. That life is done on this earth. That life is with God now. So, but that life didn't have to be cut short like that. Had precautions been taken or had information that have been given to you. If people had taken that information seriously, we wouldn't be speaking here about the little girl that died in Mount Barkley. But you know, we are sorry that it happened. It's a life loss. We hope the parents find peace. We hope that justice prevail. But again, we can only hope. We know that there will be no justice. So you know, we just give it to God and you know, just ask God to heal your heart and take you through your grieving process. And you know, in the final analysis on that judgment day, everybody will have to account to God. Everybody have to stand before God. Whoever did that killing, one day they will have to stand before God and give account of why they did that to that little girl. Because you know, the little children they belong to God. That's why Jesus said, "Suffer not the little ones to come to me." God take the little children very seriously. They are angels. So you don't mess with the angels. You don't mess with God, little children. When you mess with children, there are consequences and there are grave consequences for that. But only God can render that judgment.
Okay, Angeline Liberty said, looks like rape has become normalized in Liberia. And then a Facebook user said, family life needs to be redefined. Talking to our children about safety and speaking up. That is so true. They need to start talking, teaching the children about safety in school. Look, let me tell you
But even in their home, Grace, they need to start from in their home.
the
You know,
parents
make
just
it
need to be, yeah, in their home and in school. But even in school here in the States, the people, even some of the things my son come home and tell me, I talk to him about safety, about some of the information they get it, even more in the school, because they teach it to them in the school and stuff like, which is good. You know, but the thing is that I just want you people to know that it came a time that we were able to butt here with the government. It came a time we spoke with Justice Ministry. It came a time we spoke with Gender Ministry. And I want Angeline to know that we have been fighting against rape with the government behind the scenes. And we have fought with them. Some of them became our enemies because they don't want to hear what we had to say because we were saying the truth. And certain time they started to restrict us with meetings with them because we were having meetings with them and we were talking against these things that were happening to the children of Liberia, and especially women. And they were even doing it to some little boys. So we were talking against it, but they don't want to hear. So that's why we are giving the information now to the families and parents and the teachers. All of you're in the same community, y'all get together and try to teach your children safety and y'all to practice safety so they can see it. Because just saying it to them, you're not doing it. You telling the child to be safe and teaching them not to do this, but then you sending them on the road and they have to go buy a candle. You know, so you can't do the kids like that. So they say sending the kids to buy things at night is so wrong. Protect your children. Protect your children. Oh, it's Musu Wangala, but they just say Facebook user Musu. They didn't even put your name there. I don't know why they just say Facebook user. But yeah, so but you know that I have Facebook and do so now. So this is what we say. This is getting too much. We are overburdened, you know, with all the things that are coming to us and the things people are explaining that happening in Liberia. We can do so much and just stop to where we can stop. We have already disconnected ourselves, having meetings with the government, people, trusted ministry, general ministry. We have because it came a time that we were at knucklehead because of the Liberian children. We fought for them. We took our grievances to the international community. We did all of that, and you know the people just seeing what happening. We just like we are just still, and so now we are praying. You know that life that was lost, that little girl that died, is so painful to even see that. And the man said there is no justice, and we just want to let him know that there might probably be no justice. They just buried Princess Cooper the other day. There was no justice. Princess Cooper died. They had all the red flag. The state did not do anything about that case because they did not want to do anything about the case. So at this point, parents, family members, the community, the district head, the legislature, then for that different district, supposed to be able to help the people to be safe. That's why they are in authority, so they have to do it. If those people are not doing that, come 2023, it's time for vote them out and bring the people that will be there for you, that will be able to help the community in that way. Because if we were in Liberia, we're going to be going from community to community, advising the people right now that the elections are coming, the people will be killing people children. If we just show you some of the things that in our impact at Facebook, people can't even carry it. Because some of the people then they don't even call the media anymore, they're tired. So and people children are getting used and destroyed in our country, rape. And all those things are ritual. Sometimes they do it for medicine, sometimes they do it for their own wickedness. They just do it. So and at this point we all can just like, you know, continue to post and continue to speak, continue to write. We use the pen a lot, so we continue to write and to just continue to say. And one day something will happen. That's all we can do about it. And sometimes we'll reach out to the parents then, and you know, say our condolences to them. Most time when you if you try to help the parents to get justice, the people will end up giving them money. They will take the money and they will pack it. It happened to the Lakere case. What behind it for the later on, the man they compensated him. He took the money. Yes, he had right to take the money, but justice was supposed to still be served because they were supposed to give him compensation for his daughter to go to the hospital. That was the right thing. But we still needed justice to be served. But once that money was given, that was it. Justice was not served. That principal went right back to Lakere. He's principal right now, and he's going on about his business like nothing happened. It is not fair. Nobody is against is above the law. Nobody is above the law. And that's the reason why Liberia cannot come to herself because they make certain people above the law. And for things to be all right in the country, they have to make sure persecution is across the board. And that's all we are saying.
Yeah, and then I mean, that's it. How much more can we preach? You know, we can give the information. It's left for the audience to take the information and apply. It's a sad situation, sad times in Liberia, but we ourselves, you know, we can't keep fighting with people who don't want to do the right thing. We have done what we can. We continue to write. It's not that we stop fighting, but verbally, how we used to come on and you know and speak about it and blow the alarm, we pull back a little bit, and we started to use a written communication a lot to bring awareness to the situation, to the things that are happening to Liberian women and children in Liberia, you know. But all we can do is do our part. Like I said, we don't sit in the seat of authority. We're not clothed with the authority to bring anybody to justice or to prosecute anybody. Those who are clothed with that authority and those who sit in a seat to execute on that function, they have refused. They have made up in their mind that they're not going to do the jobs. They have made up in their mind that they're not going to prosecute people for crimes, and they're just going to sit there and seek their own interests. Now, we as a people, we as Liberian citizens, when you see that, you have to then you have to sit and think and say, you know what, these people are never going to do anything about what's going on in their country, so I have to protect myself. And that is what we continue to tell Liberian women. Look after your family. Talk to your family. The people say charity begins at home. When we were growing up, our parents always told us when we were having problems, when they were trying to discipline us, they would tell us, I will discipline you because when you go out there and you misbehaving, people are going to look at you like you're not disciplined at home, because charity begins at home. And safety begins at home. Everything begins at home. Sit with your children, sit with your family, talk to them about safety issue, talk to them about all the atrocities that are going on in Liberia and how they should take precaution. It doesn't hurt. Let them have that information. It is terrible. Sometimes you go to bed, you can't even sleep because you see the violations and you see that absolutely nothing is being done about it and nothing will be done about it. So what do? It leaves us powerless. We don't have the power to do anything. The only thing we have the power, and God gives us the grace to come and blow the alarm on these things and give whatever information that we have and give it, and with the hopes that people will take the information and apply and do what is right. Like we said, a lot of ritualistic killings, a lot of disappearances going on in Liberia. A lot of people doing it for different reasons. People doing it to get rich. People doing it to maintain
So
the
we
seat in
election.
government. People doing it for power. People doing it for all kinds of things, wealth and riches. What can you do? Liberians have turned have turned to be a whole a whole breed, a different breed of people. People hands are into a lot of demonic activities. A lot of people are functioning with the underworld, and you know as Christians, you see things from afar because the Bible says you have to be able to discern. You have to have the spirit of discernment. And when we discern certain things, we pray about it. Sometimes we are led to move forward, and sometimes we are led to pull back. When we are not led to move forward, we will not move forward. So we are sorry. Our Liberian women and children continue to go through what they are going through. But hey, what can we do? We can only speak about it with the hopes that they will listen, and they will listen well and take care of the children and the family, because Liberia is a dog eat dog world now. Nobody cares for anybody anymore. Like the Bible say in the last days, the heart of man will wax cold. Everybody for self now and God for all.
Yeah, and Musu said that Mangalo, she said that there is no path to justice in Liberia. Is sad. Hi, sister. Hi, Adi. How are you? Are you using Musu? We're using StreamYard. What happened? You want me to send you the links and put your email? Yeah, me send you the link if you want to speak here. I can send you the link, but we're on StreamYard. So discouraging. Angeline Liberty said, I am very disgusted with Liberian government. Angeline, we all are disgusted. Look, just imagine you seeing on social media disgusted. Just have a conversation with them. Ask viewer. Just go into meeting with these people like you want to just hold them from where they are for through the whatsoever you're talking on Zoom or something, and actually start to really physically fight them. That how bad it is. And I got text messages, WhatsApp messages, and you see the argument back and forth. So you just see on Facebook media, you discuss. Just imagine we who have to really deal with them when we used to deal with them. Like it's just so sad. We just sometimes we ask whether these people are actually Liberian sometimes. Like we got the people what we know we grew up with, and some of them we grew up with, they're there, and they just changed their whole way of life. That we can't even believe that we are dealing with these people. You know, it's just like it's such, and Musu saying she heard that the business owners too, they are all also doing ritualistic
Of
killings.
course,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you
Everybody
for
do
watching, channel. Yeah, everybody
everybody
doing
do
it. That's what we're telling these
ritualistic
people
killing.
to
Yeah.
pay attention to their children, and they themselves have to be out of harm's way. They have to pay attention to their children. Too many children dying nowadays. Too many children dying. You hear too many kids dying. Yeah, man, it's just so sad. Well, you can come in. It's just so sad. I mean, whew.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been talking over, like when I came into this 2 years ago, we've been talking, I mean, from every angle. We have haul and pull with the government. And the thing about it, talking with the people that sit in the seat of authority in Liberia, when you're talking to them, their hearts and their minds are so closed,
And cold.
is and cold. You're talking to them, and it's like you're saying to yourself, are these people really humans? Do they really feel anything at all for any child, or for any woman, or for any boy or girl in Liberia that's being violated? Do they feel anything? Do they have any kind of feelings? Do they have any kind of emotions left? I don't know if it is because they're there and they're seeing so much evil rather, that their skin have become so immune to the evil till they're not even moved anymore when anything happens.
No.
It's like they don't even care. They don't care attitude. They don't care behavior in the attitude. You hear it in the attitude, because we are not seeing. We see them over Zoom. Sometimes their body posture and even the way they're responding to us. You
Yeah.
see that they're very antagonistic. They don't even want to listen to what you have to say. They push back a lot. They don't give you chance to express yourself. You express yourself and they care. You tell them about the things that are going on in the country, and they get highly upset with you. It's like, why do you even have the nerve to even tell them that? I mean, the people are so cold in Liberia now till,
They don't
it's like,
care.
it's scary. It's scary. And I tell Chris, I said, these people are, they are truly demonic. It's like some demonic spirit have taken over their spirit, have filled them. So it's like you can continue to fight with the kind of people. But because when you have fought with them so long, and you see that you're not even getting anywhere with them, and sometimes they will make promises. We've had meetings, and then what they have told us, you know what? Right after the meeting, we are going to go out and call a press conference and speak on a particular issue, and nothing happens. They go completely mute. You don't hear nothing from them. You try to contact them again, and it's a dead end. So we just decided that it's best we just speak to the Liberian people. So they all will not hear it. Some of them will hear it. I'm sure a lot of Liberians have heard what we said, our messages from over the years, and some of them are taking precautions, and some of them are doing what is right for the family. But we still find out that more people are still not listening. They're still not doing right. The power of information. Look, there's good information, there's bad information. When you get good information, you must use that information for your own good. But
Yeah.
we tend to see that Liberians, they gravitate more towards bad information that does nothing good for them. You know, they get caught up in all these bad situations. They get caught up with all this bad information. And then when they get into trouble, you who giving them the good information that they're not receptive to, they come running to you because now they're in trouble. What do you do at that point in time? It's like, I've been giving you information. I'm giving you good food to eat. We talk about rotten manna. We had a whole podcast here when we talk about rotten manna. We're getting you good manna to eat. We're giving you fresh manna to eat, manna that will cause you to live. You reject it. You go for rotten food. You eat it. And the rotten food made you sick. Then you run back to the person who was giving you good food and say, oh, I'm sick. At that point in time, what you want the person to do? The
Yeah.
person is not a doctor. The person is not a healer. And that's the reason why they were giving you the information. So we continue to tell our Liberian parents, our Liberian sisters, our Liberian brothers, because the men are being violated too, the boys are being violated too. So we're telling every Liberian citizen, look after yourself. Take the necessary precaution. If you have to travel in pairs, then travel in pairs. Do that. Stay out of the street. Don't eat from everybody. Don't go everywhere. Not every drum beat you got to be there. The country is evil. It's not even bad
Right.
anymore. The country has sunken into evilness. You understand? To the point when people see evil, they are calling it good. And
Yeah.
when they see you doing good, they deem you as an evil person.
Yeah.
So we all have to be cognizant of the fact that, we have to be our own watchmen. We have to be our own watchmen. We're not gonna have nobody watching for us. There's a saying that say, if you don't say I am, who's gonna say thou art? It's the same thing. If you don't look out for yourself, if you don't care for yourself enough, if you don't prioritize yourself enough, your life that God gave you, if you don't value it enough, who else is gonna value it for you? Who else?
Yes.
You have to be the first. It starts with each individual. We cannot always blame the government, knowing that the government is not going to do anything and they're not even going to do right. We cannot continue to lay blame on one side. The blame must be across the table. Charity begins at home. Discipline begins at home. Safety begins at home. Our growing up, everything about us, it begins in our homes. right underneath our parents' noses. I was telling Grace, I said, when I was growing up in my neighborhood, there was a shop. We had a neighbor that had a shop. By the time you open our front gate, the shop is right there. 2 steps, the shop is right there. When we used to go to that shop, our parents used to get vexed. Our parents, my mom and my dad told us, I don't want to see you to that shop. Because in that shop, there's a lot of they had these boys there. They were young fellows in the early 20s. Some of them were in LU, some of them were in Cottonham and stuff like that. They were young fellows, but most of the time they would hang out to the shop, they would buy the beer, the drink, they talk about the young boys thing and stuff like that. They said there's a lot of young fellows hanging out in there. I'm not saying that they're gonna harm you. I just don't want to see you there. Don't go there. Don't go there. The shop was, by the time you open the gate, it's there. Why did they do that? Because they were looking out for our safety. Because when people get caught up in certain situations, you just never know what will happen. You just never know. So the parents, at this point in time, a lot of lives continue to be lost. But we can't continue to blame the government. We have to start holding the parents' feet to the fire. You cannot look at an 8-year-old child and send her out in the evening to the store to buy whatever that needs to be bought. It's like you set the child up to die.
It's not fair for her.
It's not fair to that child.
It's not fair to her. Yeah, everybody, we want to welcome Emmanuel Tanu. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you.
You've been watching and stuff like that. You want to say anything? Because we're talking about the power of information. We keep on continuing because knowledge is power. But what kind of knowledge are you bringing yourself to? What information are you trying to get? Because the internet can give you any information, but you have to gravitate to the right information that will empower your life. You see, how we try to these people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the platform. I was sitting there just watching, and man, what you're talking about is very sad. It's sad in Liberia. I go there myself. Usually, I'm in Liberia sometimes 2, 3 times a year. It's painful. But the sad reality is this: before the war, we used to talk about our men, but it was not as rampant as it is today. But when the war came, a lot of us got exposed to so many things. We went to different countries. Some of us, because of situation, we got involved in all kinds of rituals, medicine, bad medicines. We talk about people brought from refugee camps from different countries to Liberia. Initially, those were not in Liberia. And now those bad medicine, even during the war, some took medicine to protect them. And those medicine have to deal with blood sacrifice. And all the war is over now, but some of them still have those medicine. But then the government is the one we are supposed to depend on for our safety, right?
Of course.
The government is supposed to help us, law enforcement, to ensure that when there's someone who's killed, they can investigate and arrest people and bring them to justice. That will deter others who are doing it.
Exactly.
But it's not happening in Liberia. And that's the dilemma we are in. This is not happening, and the government is getting away with it simply because we, the people, our hands are tied. How did we tie our hands? That's what we are carrying to Liberia. That's what I usually talk to you about. We are supposed to make our government a democratic government. When I say, they say, no, we have democracy in Liberia. It's true. We do have democracy in Liberia. But democracy is a process. To have democracy, it involves a process. So, how can we make the government to be afraid of the people? The government is not even afraid of the people, let alone human life. But in some countries, we are in the United States. If somebody, dies or something happens, the government comes out and they will make sure, they will investigate. You go out of the country as an American citizen, God forbid something happens to you. We always say the people, they care for their citizens, right? It's not so much they care for the citizens. The government is afraid of the people. Because why? There is a system put in place to protect the people. But in Liberia, we do not have that. Here we are. We have a constitution that says all power is inherent in us, right? Where is that power? We should be able to stop what is going on in Liberia. But that power stops right when we vote. Why? Because we vote based on promises. And those promises are beyond the scope of the Constitution. You cannot hold a government accountable for anything that goes on in a country. Because why? We voted based on the promises. But here's Article 17. Article 17 lays it out for us. We, the people, we have the right, we have the freedom, we can meet. We can discuss these things we are talking about right now. We have the freedom to do so. Ritualistic killing, drugs pouring in our country, foreigners taking over our resources. We have the right to talk about those things. That's what Article 17 says, right? And then after that, we can now decide on the issues we want to prioritize for the government to resolve. That's what Article 17 says. We can then instruct our representatives to petition our government, right? But it first comes from the meetings that we have, like what we are talking about here today. What we discuss, the outcome, is what now we tell our representative to petition our government. But how do we do it? Article 1 says we have to make sure, it says, all power is inherent in us. All three governments are instituted by our authority and for our benefit, and we have the right, to reform the same. When our safety, it is safety we are talking about here today. When our happiness are at stake, right? Yeah. So, as you say, in order for us to do that, we have to ensure that our government is democratic. That's why it says, in order to ensure democratic government which responds to the wishes of the governed. You remember under Article 17? We have a meeting.
But my question is that the government is democratic, but are they carrying on the democracy? That's the question.
Slow down. You see, voting that we do, right? We say we have democracy, right? But what is democracy? Democracy, according to Abraham Lincoln, is a government of the people, by the people,
for the people,
and for the people. So is the government of Liberia today, is it for the people?
No.
It means it should be doing things in the interest of the people, right? So it does not fall in the definition of democracy. Yet we still have democracy. Or is it a full one? No. How? That's what Article 1 says. We must make it democratic. We the people must.
My question to you, Tanu, is that I know you say that, right? The people look like us. When this whole thing came about Kimenya, since that Black government is a democratic government, when this thing came about Kimenya with this whole molestation and sexual harassment case,
yes,
we wrote the government. We also came on Facebook and we protested on Facebook with the president. We sent our message also to the president's office in letter that we, the Liberian women of the diaspora, a certain amount of us that don't agree with what's going on when it comes to rape and molestation and all those things. And he said that he was a president and he's a feminist in chief and stuff like that. We do not want him to nominate Kimenya to be the minister of foreign affairs because at this point, this man got some allegations leveled against him. So therefore, we want it to be investigated by the government first before he can be nominated. We are never listening to us. Then he nominated him. He went to the Senate. We told the Senate, we wrote them a letter. We did the same protest again on their Facebook. And at that time again, we were planning a protest again to go outside now to go and protest. The Senate did not listen to us. In fact, he brought protesters from the interior. They came right to the Capitol building, and they were protesting that they wanted Kimenya, which was right. But the thing is that if allegations are leveled against you, but people that work with you that have contact with you, the government have to investigate it to make sure that it's investigated properly, either to clear your name or to persecute you, and that was not done. So the people, the power is inheriting the people. We the people put for our power right there that look, you cannot nominate the man. Okay, after you nominate him, the Senate approve him, you cannot appoint him. The president still went about and appointed him, and that's why we made sure he can't come to America because we went and we took our complaint to United Nations. So I'm just saying to you, the government is not listening to the people, even with the power being inherited. The people, even the people exercise the right as the power is inheriting to them. The government is not aligning because the people in that work within the government, they don't have that know-how that why we work for these people, they do not work for us. So I want you to explain that part, brother.
Mama, thank you.
But before Mr. Tano come in, we don't really have democracy in Liberia too. Let's be honest here. We say we have democracy, but there is nothing. We have a look-alike. We have a democracy look-alike. We don't really have democracy in Liberia because no one is free to exercise on their right as a person in Liberia. Because you go to, there is really no freedom of speech. There is really no freedom to assemble. There is really no freedom of nothing in Liberia. Even when they're doing, even when the rape cases were at an all-time high, and people were getting in the streets and they were protesting. I remember some of those women. We still have the pictures. Some of those women were being dragged in the street just for protesting against rape. Some of them were most of them were being tear gassed. So where is the democracy? Liberia, we just talk, we try to follow suit and stuff, but there is really no real democracy in Liberia. We just have a look-alike. And that is why nothing works.
Thank you, Ma. And I thank you for your question. That is where I was going. The Constitution, Article 1 says we must make our government democratic if we want anything to work in Liberia. That's why the clause is clear. In order to ensure democratic government which responds to the wishes of the governed, that clause, we have not implemented or decoded that clause since we adopted the Constitution. That appointment you're talking about, he would have never done that appointment if we were going to make our government democratic. And this is how we make our government democratic.
Okay.
Article 17, today we use it to protest. A government don't listen to us. Article 17, the funders put it in there for a reason. Election is coming 2023, right? This is a time we meet in our districts, we meet in our towns, we discuss the issues of the country. Government cannot do all. We are going to agree on 2 or 3 issues across the board from every district, every county in Liberia. Those issues, Article 17 says we are going to use it to instruct our representatives to petition our government. Not these representatives or the people that are coming to campaign, not the politicians. Because when they are campaigning, they are making promises. They are coming as individuals. They are not part of government. They are common people. When we vote for them based on promises like we have done in the past, when they come, they go under the canopy of government. So you cannot hold the government accountable collectively for individuals Emmanuel Tanu made. So this is how we make the government democratic under Article 1. Those are the issues we're going to take. Article 1 refers to those issues now as wishes of the governed. We are going to publish that before the election. During the inauguration ceremony, after we have voted, those are issues we're going to submit to the government, the new government, on that day in document. Those are the wishes of the governed. If we say you don't want any ritualistic killing in Liberia, that is your wish. Those are the ones we discussed under Article 17. We say we want good roads. Those are our wishes. We discussed under Article 17. When we gave to the government, those are provisions under the Constitution. Article 2, subsection 1 says, this Constitution is a supreme and organic law of Liberia. And its provisions, like in Article 1, like in Article 17, have binding force and effect on all authorities, including we, the individuals in society. Once we do that, we have made our government democratic. When they fail to respond to those issues that we want done in the country, Article 17, we can still go out and protest. But Article 1 says, at that period, when they fail to do it, like you talked to Joshua, don't appoint this guy, and he did. Article 1 says, at that period, and in such manner as provided for under this Constitution, We the people shall have the right to cause our public servants to leave office. And you know what? The Constitution doesn't say we have to wait for their time in office to finish. No, we can appoint somebody to serve in their capacity to do the job that we want until regular election. That is the Constitution.
Yeah, but
But
Mr. Tano,
when was the last time we ever did that? To present
Mr.
our
Tano,
wishes to the
Do
government,
that
like I have laid out.
can we do that with those rebels?
Mr.
Uh-huh.
Tano,
You see
that
people
sounds
marching in the
so.
street and singing battle cry and stuff like that. That one boy was just flogged unmercifully, and he's in the hospital now fighting for his
July 26th.
Yeah. Have you seen the government doing anything? The president just
Because,
made a vague statement
Mama,
and then that was it.
Mama, because this government can do that because what I have just laid out, we did not do it. We didn't vote this government based on issues. We voted them based on promises. And those promises are beyond the scope of the Constitution. You cannot hold them by it.
Yeah,
Look
but Mr.
at June
Tano,
6th.
Mr. Tano, let me ask you that all that you say is good and it's on paper and that's how it's supposed to work. But just like I said, it's not quite, but just like I said, charity begins at home. So if power is inherent in we the people, and we the people don't have the capability to understand that the power is inherent in us, how are we going to hold the government feet to the fire?
Good, Mama.
Because most
I
of
like
the
that.
people, most of us, most of the citizens, I would say at this point in time, we'll put it to 80%. Because only 20% of Liberian citizens understand the power that they have. 80% of Liberian citizens, they don't have the capability to understand that power is inherent in them and the action they can take to turn things around. Every little thing that is done that does not even make sense, every little mediocre thing, the people not even they don't even understand. They see it as development and they see it as a huge accomplishment. How are they going to be able to hold the people in the seat of authority? How are they going to be able to hold their feet to the fire when I, as a person, I even understand my own self? I don't even know what development is. I don't understand what development is. I don't know the power that I have to execute that when people don't do what they do, to be able to kick them out of power or to come against them. I don't even understand. I don't even know. And when people try to tell them, when you try to give education to these people, they kick back. So it begins with the citizen. Charity begins at home. It's the same thing we're talking about. It has to start in our homes. It has to start in the communities. We can't only hold the president and the representatives. They are community leaders. There are parents in their home who hold in leadership position. When you're a parent in your home, you are a leader. You're supposed to educate the people in your home. When you are community chairman in a community, not just to sit down there and be collecting community dues, it's to call meetings, it's to call the community and try to educate the community. If even you don't know what to educate the community, or call people who know to come and educate the community. So when these things start happening, because as for me, the way I see it, if it starts at the bottom, if it starts from the home, the understanding starts from the home, and the understanding trickle down into the community, change will start to take effect, because people will start understanding their power. They will start understanding what to do and how to do it, and where and when to do it. But the people do not even understand that, neither do they want to even accept that power is inherent in them. They don't even want to accept that. So where are we going then? Nowhere. So the government will continue to abuse its citizens, and they will continue to take advantage of them, and they will continue to kill them, and they will continue to use them, and the people will continue to perish, just like the Bible said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And Liberian citizens will continue to perish until we Liberian people say we are ready to open our mind to good information and how it works. And they accept the good information and how it works and decide to execute on that information, we are going nowhere. And that is what we keep talking about, the power of information. We find that the Liberian, they run after the bad information. The one that does nothing
Like
for
right
them.
here,
The one
you
that
see
kills
the
them.
information
Is
you're
what
giving
they
right now. You see how many people watching you?
it's what they are willing to
Yeah, oh,
accept.
yeah.
They are willing to accept bad information. They want what you're giving here right now. What you're talking about, power is inherent in the people, and all these articles that you're living and laying out, they're not receptive to
By
that. They
giving
don't
them
want
your
to hear that.
constitutional rights, though.
They don't want to
Are
hear
Are
that.
they here to hear it? No,
They
they're
don't
not.
want to
Now,
hear that. They
you
don't want
know,
to accept it.
says Barra, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I think it was 3 or 4 podcasts before this one. And what was the topic we're talking about? Dual citizenship. Why do you think they don't want you to go to Liberia? Because you go, you have learned, you are exposed, you know what to do to educate the people so that they can stand up against what is happening in society. And that's why some
They
of
don't
them
want
don't want us there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
but
what
what
we are
about,
doing,
but Mr. Tanu, what about the people themselves? Okay,
okay,
let's just get past those who don't want us there, those who are in position who don't want us there, right? What
mhm,
about the Liberians, the common Liberian themselves, who when you talk to them, you try to
mhm,
talk to them outside of the government, and you try to talk to them and you try to feed them good information, you try to open up their minds to what they are capable of or what their right is, and they
mhm.
reject it. What about that?
Okay, let me tell you my experience. Okay, there's a personal experience I'm going to give you. I started October 1st, 2020. I was in Zozo, Lofa County, and I had a meeting with the people, and I have videos on Facebook, YouTube, on my website. The people we went to 14 districts, and what I'm talking about, that's what we are educating the people on in Liberia. As we speak right now, we have a petition from the Liberian people. This is what they want. When you take your time and go down and explain to them, man, these people are tired. The people are, those are in Liberia, like when somebody is drowning and you take a knife or something, the sharper you give them, they will hold it. That's how Liberia is now. People are tired. They want change. But how? But most
But
of the
do they
time,
know
do
what
you know
change?
why?
Do they know what change is? Do they know what change entails? Do they know
Well,
what
that's
change
why
is
we're telling you, man.
That's
required?
what I'm telling
They're
you.
trying
That's
to
what
do
I'm telling you.
they're
Do you
trying
know
to
why
do
the
it.
people are not receptive easily?
Mhm.
Because the people are confused. They have trusted a lot of politicians. Those that go there to preach change, majority of them at the end of the day, they either become politicians or sell themselves to politicians. That's why people don't want to
True.
listen. Do you see it? In fact, I go to districts when I explain our platform, they love it so much. Some of them even threaten me. They say this thing you are talking about is our life, and we can't sit here for this particular one you are talking to fail because this is the constitution. This is the way. If you sell yourself to a politician, what do we do to you? They ask me that question all the time. Some of them come begging, please do not sell yourself. Don't sell this platform to politicians. This is what we need. The other time, even people volunteer to make their own. They only ask me to give them permission to use my logo to print their own T-shirt, going from community to community. One old man who were talking on the phone, I wanted to tell you, say, shut up and listen. Imagine that. This thing you are talking about here, this thing will not let it fail. And if you make it to fail, you will be in trouble with us. The people want it. But you got to show to the people that you are not into politics because everything in Liberia today is politicized.
Not
That's
all
why
the
people don't
political.
want to listen.
Everything is political. Even us.
Everything is
Because all
politicized.
platform they want us to be, or you cannot talk about, you
So,
cannot advocate with politics.
yeah,
You can advocate with all politics. So, and that's why we've been standing our ground that we will advocate with all
yeah,
politics. We'll call the government or doesn't mean that we are politicians. So, but we are not
no,
going to put ourselves into politics because we want to advocate for the people and not for because of anything else. So let me just read before you guys go further. Is
yeah, go ahead.
actually absolutely what there are when there are no consequences, there is a bound to be repetitions. There is bound to be repetition. Nowhere in the world is all safe. Some parents have to work. Some situations are hard. The government should provide a safe environment for its citizens. What is the point of having the law enforcement when it is not serving the public? Yeah, Angela, we know all of that. And I will let my other people come in. But the thing is that At this point, if the government, if we know the government is not providing safety and security for the people anymore, that is established. That government that in place right now will not be able to do that. All Liberians you already know, and that's what we're just saying. To save your family, now you have to take matter into your own hands. Jahar Tanu is saying that the Liberian people need to hold onto the stuff in the constitutional right to be able to demand the government. We've seen that the people right now, before they can reach that stage, they have to take matter into their own hand to protect their children. Because charity begins at home, train their children for safety, help to save their children, protect them by not allowing them out there like that. It happening around the world. People are trying to protect their children. There's a story that goes like this. Real and myself was sharing that story. She was telling me it today. There's woman in America here. They went somewhere in the mall and their son went to the bathroom and they allowed him to go to the bathroom. As soon as he got in the bathroom, one man had shaver in his hand, cut all the boy hair from on his head to disguise the boy in the bathroom. His parents, they said, now waiting for him. Never knew the man came past with his son in the hand, with the boy here, the boy looking at his parents. The parents can't even recognize him. They just let him pass with the man. And when later on, before in less than 10 minutes, they figured out their son had left the bathroom and they started calling the authorities. And that's where we have the authorities in Liberia are not working. In America, yeah, it works. As soon as they called, then the people had a lockdown quick. And I had a man got scared and left the boy. Some part of the morning, people found the boy, his whole hair was shaved. And the boy started to say how the man shaved his hair in the bathroom and the men were carrying him. And that's what we're seeing. You have to pay attention to your kids. You have to know, because right now the government that's in place, they're not there for that. Those people that are in place right now, they are there for themselves. They are there to collect and build mansions, as we see. People came from pop-up pools that couldn't even afford to wear pants. They were borrowing transit from their friends, asking for food to eat. Today they build mansions. They are building. They're sending their children to private school. Their children are in other countries going to school while the poor people children suffer. So you have to help yourself in the meanwhile until help can really come, because this government that's in place is not going to bring the help that Liberia need, and we know that. So
Yeah, just to add to what you said, usually when I go to Liberia, after 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I'm not getting out of my house.
thank you.
What am I doing in the dark when I know people are getting hurt? But some of us in Liberia, that's when we want to go out and go party. We stay out 11, 12 o'clock in the night coming home when we know these ritualistic killings are going on. Then letting the children to go by themselves, certain areas, isolated areas. I mean, we think we have peace, we have democracy, that everything is normal. But with what is going on, you have to take precaution.
Thank you.
You have to protect your children. Even here in the United States, I can stand to my house and see the bus stop. But hey, when my children are going to school, I walk with them to the bus stop, or my wife walks with them to the bus stop. When they are coming from school, either my wife is there or I'm there to pick them up. It's not that the United States is not safe, but you have to take precaution. People children are getting missing. They have people disappearing. Why will you want to go out in an isolated area when it is dark? Or send the children to an isolated area when you know it's not safe? Those are the things we are talking about. You have to take precaution, until we can have a government that will be able to protect the people. Until we can have that, even with that, you still have to take your safety into your own hands. It is you that's going to get hurt. It's not the government, even though the government provides protection, but you also have the responsibility to ensure that you don't take risk. Your risk should be calculated. So when I'm in Liberia, 5, 6 o'clock, I'm not leaving my house. I have my iron gate, my everything. Where you were supposed to get in my house now in the night, that's a different story. But I'm not going to put myself out there at that time. I'm not going to be driving around at that time. No, even the Bible we read says that work while it is day. When it is in the night, stay home. But us, no, we want to go party. That's some of the ways we can take precaution also.
Yeah, because we don't place value on ourselves, Mr. Tanu. Because if you prioritize yourself and you place value on your life, that life that when it's lost, that breath that God breathed in you, that once you lose it, You get it no more on earth. That breath goes back to God who gave it to you. While you are here, you are borrowed. That breath we're breathing is a borrowed breath. You have to place value on it. You have to prioritize yourself. If you don't prioritize yourself and you don't think you're worth being safe or your children are worth being safe, who else can you blame? Yes, the government is supposed to protect the people, but what do you do when somebody has shown to you that they're not going to protect you? Do you just still sit there and continue to blame them and say that they're supposed to protect you? No, at some point in time, you got to say to yourself, you know what? I have to protect myself because this person has shown me that they're not going to help me. This person has shown me that they're not going to keep me safe. So what do I do to keep myself safe? And that's what we're saying at this point in time. Yes, we are supposed to hope the government feet to the fire because they're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do for the citizens. They're supposed to be taking care of the citizens. They're supposed to make sure every citizen is safe. They're supposed to make sure every citizen is economically, physically, and security-wise. They're supposed to be safe. But we see that the government has dropped the ball. These people are in their own interest. What do you do with somebody like that? You will continue to blame them and continue to die. You continue to lose your children. Your children continue to be violated. Your children continue to lose their lives. Their children continue to be harmed. They continue to be victims of rape and sexual molestation and domestic violence. At what point in time, you as an individual will say, you know what, enough is enough. I have to do what I have to do. At what point in time are the citizens going to say that? I understand that some of them are wising up to the things that we're telling them. And that is why I was saying 20%, I believe, and that's my own number. I didn't get our statistics from anywhere, but based on what is going on in the country, that's how I figure. I figure that 20% of Liberians got it and 80% don't get it. And it is a crisis. It is a crisis. If 80% of the people don't get it, only 20% get it. The 20% are sufficient. Like one time, Grace and I were having a podcast here. The 20% are in the minority. They're not sufficient to change the agenda of the country. They are not sufficient to shake the table for something to be done. So then the government just take the whole country for granted. They say you're not serious people. You know, the 20% they just disregard them because the 20% does not really have the strength or they don't have the voice to make that change. The 80%, we try to talk to them. They reject you. I mean, the whole country is traumatized. That's the bottom line. The people are so traumatized at the point that you try to tell them good for themselves. They start to cost you more cost. You can tell Liberians are traumatized and Liberia are in a mental crisis when everything is a female cause, my cause, body part. That is only kind of words that come from their mouth. And I hear these things on social media. I'm like, damn. These people are in a mental crisis.
And they're eating air.
They are in a mental and emotional crisis when everything that comes out of your mouth is a woman cuss. And nothing else can come out of your mouth. You are in a crisis. And the sad thing is that most of them don't think that they're in a mental crisis. They think that they're just fine. And that other people having mental problem and they don't have a mental problem. You understand? And so what do you do with the people? I mean, we can try, but trying to talk to the people, you know, their movement is so slow. We're not getting there. We're just taking like baby steps. You know, you just talking to the people, talk to the people, you talk to them, someone you talk to them, they will understand when you look, they fall right back into the same bad habit. I mean, I don't know. And the people, I don't know. Sometimes even you talk about change, sometimes you try to explain what change is to the people. They don't even want to understand. The people are so traumatized by bad information. Their mind and their spirit and their soul is so filled with bad information to the point that they're even able to empty themselves of the bad information.
And open themselves.
They are unable to empty themselves and transform themselves. Like the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind daily. The people don't even want to be transformed. They don't even want to renew their minds. 80% of them. So for that reason, the education that we are giving is at a slow pace, and we just pray that it get out there. But when things that rape and things happen, where the little children, little girls lose their lives, or the little boys lose their life and then they come running back to us, Mr. Tano, what do we tell them at that point in time? We can just extend our condolences and tell them, sorry, and God will handle it in the end. Whoever did the crime, they will get punished eventually, because the Bible says retribution is sure. We all have to stand before God and account for our sin. But at that point in time, you have lost your child, a life, a vibrant little 8-year-old young girl, beautiful little angel has lost her life foolishly. What do you do? It's heartbreaking. It's depressing. What do you tell the parents? It's like spilled milk. You said, well, you're supposed to take care of her. Why you're sending her on the road? But at this point in time, that spilled milk, it will not bring the life back. So how do we get to these people to not do these things? Why are they not getting them, Mr. Tano? Because you've been going back and forth in Liberia. I know you say you spoke with those people, and the people holding your feet to the fire and say, if you say yourself to government with you, where you are calling it. But how do we get to those people? Why are the people not understanding? Why are they not applying what we're telling them that is good? Why are Liberians not receptive? Why are they not taking it? What is the problem?
Because this is a reason. Like I said, all the things you are talking is that's exactly what is happening, because why? The people have been conditioned. And it will not take us 1, 2 days, 1 year, 2 years to get over it, because the people have been conditioned for a long time. Number one, the people need trust. They need to trust you. We that are in the diaspora, most of them don't even trust us. When we talk, they say, okay, you sitting on Facebook there, you eating your burger, your whatever it is. We the one here, and you sit down there, you talk. They say, oh, that Facebook talk. When you go there, the moment you appear, while they are looking at you, the eyes that they have to look at you, this guy is a politician. He's coming to lie to us again, because they have been used. The people have been abused. Their trust have been betrayed. So it takes time for them to trust you. And when you go and you start to present your information, and they get to know and see and trust that you are not into politics, but rather you are in their interest, definitely they will follow you. Like I said, right now, except I don't go Liberia. I don't go to Liberia. But places that I have been, a lot of people. And how did I start? I started offering services to the people. 2010, I bought school buses, because I know this is something that we will have to do to change Liberia. I bought school buses. I think I have about 4 or 5 of them. I used to run from Banga.
I understand, Mr. Tano, but the thing is that you don't, like, they allow us to overcompensate, and that's the problem I have. Because when I went to Liberia in 2018, I've been doing it since 2009, and I was not even on Facebook that time. I was just there doing stuff where I had to do. But then in 2018, I carried a whole container. They did the same thing. I went to like 7 radio stations, and all the radio stations asked me that whether I wanted to run for representative. And then it was just kind of strange to me that, no, I just came to help you. I don't want to run for office, because your office job cannot pay me. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to be stealing money when they give me money to use for the district, and I take it and put it in my pocket because I'm not getting paid the amount that would really suit me. And so I cannot even, Fenton, I can't even see myself working with the government. I don't trust the people. I'm going to be like a stranger there. I'm very straightforward person, so they will not even tolerate people like me. But I just came to the country to help. But it was so sad that every radio station that I go to, they ask me that very same question. And some of them, they bully me on the air. Oh, yeah, like how you can come here, you say that, but then later on you run and you want to come take our country from us. So the people in the country has to be receptive. We don't have to take anything there to get your attention. If we come in there with education, it should get your attention, because at this point, you people are sinking into the sinking place. So therefore, if somebody come in and they're talking something that makes sense, although you have trusted people that we're not going to do the right thing, even if they told you they would do the right thing, and you still trusting these people. So why not try to open up to other people who actually coming in and maybe giving you information that you can really better your life with the information alone? It's knowledge, it's power. So why are you not even taking the information because you saw a friend, this and that and the other? So it doesn't, for me, it doesn't add up. Like, bro, it's really at a crossroad. It's at a very dangerous place. I believe that bro come back to herself, and we don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take a while because the proper people will be there. Although they're fighting for the real, for people who really got knowledge and experience to not come and help the people in Liberia. They're fighting now to make us, like strangers in our own country. There will be a time these things will change. I believe it in my mind. So I will just read some comments and I will let you guys to say your last words. And then because we have to get out of here, it's like 8:20. Musu said that there is no mass education about learning the rights, which is true. She also said, I agree, Paul proposal condition to keep quiet. They have conditioned the people mind. And I have heard them say that they prefer not to talk for fear of their lives, because most of the time they say they're afraid to talk because they fear. But the thing is that if the life you're living is not even worth it, why are you so afraid to even talk? I mean, I honestly think I'm not in a situation, but I don't think I would just be scared and live in poverty and not speak because I'm so afraid. Because whether you speak or not, if your situation not going to change, so you may as well just speak. Maybe you will help somebody else in your speaking, even if they try to do anything to you. But everybody will not be brave like some of us. So then, and she also said the radio station will praise those who they make their pockets happy, and that is the truth. So the information that given on the radio as well and the newspaper as well, they're destroying the lives of the people, because most of the people them that in that situation that in the capacity to carry the news, they're giving false information, and they're sticking with the politicians and saying that things are all right in Liberia, and some of them not even speaking the place they're supposed to speak when things happen. The people can get their story out there because the people have to pay them. They don't have that kind of money. So money is everything there, although money is everything everywhere, but there is even worse. So Mr. Tano, you can come here and say your last comments, and if you can come in, then we'll have to leave here and come back here next Sunday. You are watching Split Talk, the Nine Generation.
Thank you very much. I like this conversation, because what we are saying here today, we might think people are not listening. We may not have a lot of viewers like we can see on the screen, but I'm telling you, a lot of people are listening, and I believe very strongly, the Liberians, those are in Liberia, I want to believe they will take what we are saying, because now they can see that even though we are advocating, and people have come to disguise themselves as advocates and betray them, they will continue to believe us, because they know that we are not there to run for government office, or we are not looking for political power. We are there to help them. So, I mean, I would say let us continue to do this, and I know our people will listen to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tano.
Oh, I just want to say to my fellow Liberians, we've been on here a lot for the past 2 years. I've been on here with Grace, and we've been talking about all kinds of rape issues. We've had all kinds of cases. We'll continue to say to our Liberian parents, speak to your family, talk to your children, keep an eye on your children, protect your children. The government even went out and made a public announcement that every citizen should get a CC camera to be able to protect themselves. That tells you right there, the government is telling you they're not responsible for your security. Let us be mindful. Let us pay attention. Let us be receptive to good information and apply it. If you don't understand something, ask question and let somebody explain it to you better. 2023 is around. Prior to that, there have been a lot of ritualistic killing for so many different reasons. 2023 is coming for election. It's even worse. Everybody trying to hold on to power. Everybody trying to hold on to position. People trying to hold on to their seats. People trying to be like Musu, our sister Musu Wangalo Stewart said. Some people are trying to be powerful business owners. Some people want to acquire all the wealth in this world, which the Bible referred to as vanity. And so they will put their hands into all kinds of things. Even if it means killing people to maintain their status, they will do it. So it's on us parents. We have to be mindful. The Bible said we should watch and pray. It's not only spiritually, physically, you got to watch and pray too. You got to be security minded. You got to be safety minded. Too many of our children, they're losing their lives because of foolishness. Because they grew rusted, crusted men in Liberia continue to be sexually attracted to children. And I think that too has to do with them maintaining power, has to do with them maintaining their statuses in life, or their properties and the wealth that they have acquired, trying to maintain it. Because at every level, people who are into demonic activity, they tell you, going and putting your hands in these things, blood sacrifices, those are covenant that you make with the devil. And when you make that covenant, every time you gotta go and renew the covenant. You got to renew your covenant. And every time they have to go to maintain the positions, they have to do these things. We have to be mindful. Liberians, we've been preaching, Liberians have to rise up. They have to rise up. They are rising up. But those who are rising up are not sufficient. They're still in a minority. And so things continue to happen in the country because their voices are not enough to face the government. And we continue to lose as Liberians. We continue to lose as mothers, as fathers, as parents. It has to, at some point in time, it's going to stop. Because nobody able the wrath of God. When God ready, God will turn that country out of the. I do believe, like Grace said, Liberia will come to a place of turnaround. It will come to a place of turnaround because there are few faithful people who are praying for that country and who are speaking in a positive way for the country, and who are hoping for the good of the country, and Liberia will come to itself. But we as a people, we have to be receptive to good information, the power of information. Just yesterday, Grace and I, we attended an event in Baltimore yesterday. The kind of information that we received, that crowd was over $2,000, and we were privileged to be in attendance. The kind of information, good information that will propel us individually and as an organization to a better place. We would have gotten it nowhere. Had we received that invitation to go there, had we not honored it, we wouldn't know what we learned yesterday. We wouldn't know we wouldn't have networked yesterday like we did. And that's what we're telling our fellow Liberians. We must be able to listen to good information. When someone is giving good information, come there and listen. Take out what you can take out. What applies to you, take it and apply it. Try and apply it to your life. Let it work for you. We find that too many people run after bad information, bad food, and they're dying from it. And it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, when you guys have received the bad information and something happened, guess what? You don't go running back to those people who you got the bad information from. You can run it on the opposite side. And we will not always be available. We will not always be available because that's the user mentality. You don't use people like that. We all must learn to follow good information. The power of information. Information can build you or it can destroy you. And that's what we're telling our fellow Liberians. We will continue in this path. We'll continue to talk about the power of information, and we will take it from different angles. Most of the time, we will end up talking about Liberia anyway, because Liberia is our birthplace, and we all care for it. We care for our people, and we want the country to be, we want to see a turnaround. We want to see the country do good, because when Liberia does well, guess what? We all will do well. We don't want to stay in the country forever. America is difficult. It's difficult. They have their own challenges, and we're going through it. We, as a colored people in this country, we have our own challenges too. We just have a little bit of freedom, but we got our own rigmarole that we go through. So we are saying to all our audience out there, we thank you for listening. We thank you for interacting with us. We appreciate you. When you come on, you give us your input. Even after the show, some of you go in our inboxes and give us, your feedback. We appreciate it. We ask that you continue to give us feedback. And if there's any particular thing you want to add, you can add it on there. If we're on there talking and you feel led to come on, you can just send a message and Grace will send you the link, and you can come on and give your input, because at the end of the day, resolving these issues is all of our responsibility, and not just the responsibility of a few people that are advocates on Facebook or outside of Facebook. It's all Liberians. It's all of our responsibility. So I just want to say thank you for listening, and thank you for your continuous viewership. Thank you, and thank you.
Yeah, and I will just read some comment before I make my last thing. Angeline said that Angeline Liberty, she said, why don't neighborhoods create a village? It takes a village like the old days. And then Musu says, so true. Mindfulness is important. And Musu also said, "Oh, it is sexualized society, especially the music." Yeah, so I would like to say that I think come this 2023 that coming, you don't take it for a joke. This is very serious. We just decided not to be posting stuff on Facebook. A lot of young children are dying, losing their lives, and it's happening in a real interior area of Liberia now. It started to happen in Monrovia recently a lot. So you have to put all your vigilante like they used to do back in the day. Every community is supposed to have some vigilante going on to protect the children of the community because the government say that they cannot protect everybody right now. They don't have that kind of manpower. So, and the president want people to have CCTV camera, but the people don't even have jobs. So you have to look at all those things and try to set up a vigilante in the neighborhood to protect your neighborhoods and stuff. When we were there after the war, second time, our people did that to protect us, and people have to make sure that they are home on time and make sure that children are being, well watched and protected at the same time because you have to do that for yourself. And that's all we have to say for today. We tell you thank you for watching. This is Spiritual in Our Generation. We'll be here every Sunday. We come here at 7 p.m. So next we will come again. We'll continue with the power of information. We want people to look out there for the right information because look at it for us nowadays. Everything is online. It's all social networking and on this social network where everybody can find anything they're looking for and try to seek after good information that you can learn from, not just mediocre stuff. I mean, try to inform yourself because you can do it online if you want. It's all there. People giving very good information that you can learn from and you can empower yourself and empower your life and help somebody else. So have a blessed evening and we want to say thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful week that coming. We hope everything goes well for you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.